Hello everyone and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host Rob Bentley and thanks for tuning in. On today's show we'll recap a busy homecoming weekend as we check in with Ferris State football, volleyball and soccer, all with big wins this past weekend. We'll start first though with Bulldog football and joined by assistant coach Tesfa Smith. And coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
I know it was kind of nice for you guys to be back at home for homecoming after a couple long road trips, games early on here in the year against perennial playoff type teams. Nice to be back at home for homecoming.
Always good to be back home and, to play a day game, and, those first 3 weeks were tough and, just glad that we came out as healthy as we can and to go out and play the way we played against Northern was good, something to build on.
Obviously had a large crowd, so many former players back. What's it like having all that support and those former players in attendance?
The energy was amazing, just to see the tailgating and the crowd before the game and all the former players that come by. It's always great to see those guys and, to see where we're at now. It's just, it feels good. You think that, you're doing a good job when you see the energy that's coming back and the players that's coming back and the energy for the homecoming game. So it's always nice.
As we go to some of the highlights, obviously you coach on the defensive side and a dominant performance by a majority of your guys up front.
Yeah, it was good for us to, kind of get back to, what we've been good at is, neutralizing the run. Those first 2 weeks, we were struggling at, finding our identity in that. And, these last 2 weeks, it was good to, build on that and, keep neutralizing the run. So it was always good.
Evan Cummins getting his first start at quarterback here in the college level, and then Jackson Dieterle with a career-long 52-yard field goal here early on.
Yeah, Jackson's got a iron leg, so that was good to see, and then he had room for more in that. And kudos to Evans to come out here and on his first start, against a team where our the coaches know what we do really well. So and to go out there and move the chains and put some points on the board, it's really good to see for him and, to help his confidence and his growth process.
Unfortunately, here early on, fumbles kind of the story of the game. Offense had a couple opportunities to score and could not hold on to the ball, but fortunately the defense really stepped up to the challenge.
Yeah, it put us in some spots where we had to kind of grow a little bit, put in those predicaments, but, it's something that the offense can, work on. And, I think that's the good thing we can take out of this game is we haven't played a complete game in all three phases yet, and so it's scary at how good we could potentially be once we start putting it all together. So, you don't want to start peaking until the end of the year. So, and just something that, we can work on as the season progresses is ball security, because that's going to be important if we're fortunate enough to make it in the playoffs. So.
Here towards the end of the first quarter, Evan with a nice run here. Maybe talk about his play on the offensive side and in terms of commanding the offense here on Saturday.
Yeah, sitting behind two really good quarterbacks who've had a lot of success. It's kind of waiting in the wing, and you just never know when your number is going to get called. And for him, probably going into the year, didn't think his number would get called much, and here you are at week 4, and hey, you're going to be our starter, and to go out there and command that offense and, like I said, move the chains and put some points on the board was really good to see it, and there's some stuff that he can build on going, into next week, but always positive. I thought he handled it really well. So,
Here a nice drive by the offense. Marvin Campbell gets you down inside the 20, and then Tyler Miner here has a knack for finding the end zone when he touches the ball.
He's so explosive, and Marvin's our workhorse, and Booby does a great job. But I think that all these guys are successful because our O-line, we got such a veteran O-line, and do just such a fantastic job of pushing guys around and controlling that line of scrimmage. So if our O-line is healthy and playing well, we can be very explosive. So it's just important for us to stay healthy up front. I think Coach Parker does a great job of getting those guys ready, and Coach Denise does a great job of aligning all those guys to get success because of the success of our O-line. So
38-10 the final score, and obviously you had a chance to play a lot of different guys in the second half of that ball game.
Yeah, going into the game, we had two guys up front that were, starters for us that got hurt in the Ashland game. So we knew they were going to play for us this week. So, my message to my group was, hey, a lot of you guys are going to get opportunities. Your snap counts are going to go up. What you do with it, it's up to you. And I thought that they all went in there. We were able to play. We dressed 10 guys. We dressed 12 guys, and we were able to play all 12 guys. So always good when you'll be able to dress 12 guys and play all your guys and get some quality reps for them and help their confidence a little bit.
This week back on the road, but a short road trip as you travel down to Caledonia to
Yeah.
take on Davenport, and obviously guided by another former Bulldog assistant in Sparky McEwen.
Yeah, a guy that's very familiar with our offense and knows what we do offensively, and his son running a defense who, most of the stuff he's gotten was, from the defense that he ran when he was here. So very similarities, offensively and defensively. Everyone knows what everyone does. So it'll be a great game. It'll be about the matchups and, how effectively we exploit matchups on both sides and limit our mistakes. So.
Both teams undefeated going into that game. This past weekend, Kyle Nystrom for Northern Michigan.
Yeah.
Sparky this week, you've got Ryan Brady at Saginaw. What's it like facing these former guys that you worked with here on the Ferris State staff?
It's always good to see guys, move on to, bigger and better opportunities, from the success here. So, I'm happy for them. I'm excited to, go against them. And, for me, it's always fun when you go against these guys to play against them and, see what that game will be like. So
we talked about the depth. How critical is it that the program's been able to build some more depth here and able to play a lot of guys when somebody goes out with an injury, somebody else steps in?
Well, that's, a lot of it has to do with the success of all our former coaches that were here, when I got here, and the recruiting that we have done. We've done a fantastic job of bringing in kids year in and year out, and not only bringing in talented kids, but develop them, and being patient with them and allowing them to become really good football players so that when their time comes, they get on the field, it's like we don't miss a beat. We've been very blessed in that part of our personnel, and hopefully we can continue that. So,
obviously coming in off of last year, a historic season for the Bulldogs, a lot of expectations coming in. How have the guys kind of handled those expectations maybe here through the first month of the season?
Really good. That first 3 weeks was tough, to play a really good Findlay team who's been playing us tough for the last 3 or 4 years, to go on a long flight to Washington to play another playoff team, and to come back from that long trip and then to go and play, a team like Ashland that's year in and year out always a tough team to play at Ashland, where we wouldn't have much success playing there, was really good for our test, to see where we're at as a team. And it can only help our confidence moving forward. So, to come back home and beat Northern Michigan, that was tough, and Coach likes to break our seasons up into different segments. So we got through the first segment, now we're through the second segment right here, and we feel really good where we're at. But, the success we had last year, we know that we're going to get every team's A game, because this is a barometer point, a statement game for these guys, for every team we play. If they can get even a close game or tough game, they can say, hey, we're almost close to where we're Ferris at. So we know that we have to be ready every week to be at our best, because at any given moment, our team, those teams that we're playing, are going to come back, with their best. So we've got to match that intensity.
Well, Coach, thanks for being with us. Congratulations, 4-0, and best of luck down at Davenport on Saturday.
Thanks, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.